Nails YouTube channel, and this week, as we discussed in the previous episode, and if you haven't watched that episode, check it out. It's the actual product review of the Kupa Mani Pro Passport, which I have loved every minute of having, and you should definitely check out the last video. So on this video, we're going to discuss acrylics, polymer monomer, nail forms, and tips. So I got a lot of questions in my email, and if you haven't sent me a question that you want to see as a student or upcoming nail tech, send them and we're going to do as many videos as we can. We'll try to get every new episode out to you as promptly as possible so that you can learn as we learn, and we'll learn together. So let's talk about tips and nail forms. I'm not going to say tips versus nail forms because you can do either one. A healthy nail is up to the nail tech, not up to the nail form or the nail tech. It's totally you, is what I've learned. And I learned that from one of my very first mentors. Her name is Penelope. She's amazing. She does amazing nails in Atlanta. You'll find her name below on Instagram so that you can follow her. She does nothing but nail tips, but she doesn't use a drill at all. All of her work is immaculate and amazing. She can do a sculpt nail too, but most of her stuff is done with tips. And so she was the one who taught me how to try to do a healthier nail with a tip. And then of course, sculpts, I learned from one of the nail techs here in Memphis who's helped me, who I also work with. She really pressed me into sculpts, and I've enjoyed sculpts, and I've enjoyed both. So now I can do both, and I think that you should know how to do both, because as upcoming people, you want to be able to, if a client says, I want a tip, you can do a tip, or if you want a sculpt, you can do a sculpt, because I sculpt a lot of toenails on. Honestly, people have a lot of foot trauma, and I sculpt a lot of toenails on, and so you have to know how to sculpt so that you can give your clients a range of services. It has really expanded my client base, knowing how to sculpt toenails on and sculpt nails on that have been broken and that you can't put a tip on because they're sensitive or they need a little extra time. So it's really up to you. Now these nail tips are by LeChat. I bought them at the Birmingham Nail Show last year, and they were like $10 at the show. So they were a really good investment, especially to practice with. But these nail tips that are in this bag that have the numbers came from a nail business in Atlanta, and they all look different, and they're numbered because of the size of the nail. And so these tips feel just as good as these tips. I don't see a difference, and these were $1.50 a bag, and these were $10 a box. I mean, I guess if you look at it and you go down on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, they ran about the same price. In fact, these might be a little bit more, but expensive by 50 cents. But honestly, they work just as well. They're the same. So don't be, there are some flimsy nail tips that you can get. Don't get those. Invest in the ones that are like this. Like, I can't bend this nail tip at all. Invest in ones that have good structure to make your work easier, to make the client's nails look better, and invest in your product. And then, of course, you're going to need a nipper to cut that nail whenever you need to cut it. And I always protect it because I used to have these flying around, and learn how to protect your client from flying products before you poke somebody's eye out. So on to the nail forms. These first nail forms came from Sally's. You see they came in a roll of like 1,000,002, and I just have not even run through all of them. And I use them to practice. And I normally put the back on because I need the extra support when I first learned how to do them. But as you see now, like, I'm just running right through it. So these are pretty good to practice with for students. You can actually do nails in your shop with them. I've used them before. They're not a problem. The next ones that I just got when I got my Kupa were the Kupa nail forms. And I will say this. Any nail form that you can turn from a short to a long by this perforation right here. I'll fold it, and then I'll tear it off in a second. If you can do that, that's amazing. That's a plus. So you have an extra long and a regular. This is just a regular nail form on my thumb. And this is an extra long and a regular. Look at that. And it's numbered, and it gives you your structure. And I like that a lot. So I think I might invest in some of these. I don't think they're about as strong as the other ones. I don't think that you necessarily need to put the back on unless you just need the extra support. And then if you do it. But I think that this is great. The fact that you can literally build an extra long nail or a short nail is amazing. I love these Kupa nail forms. Look at this. And I'm not endorsing Kupa, by the way. They don't pay me to say any of this. I'm just telling you based on the products that I've used, which ones I like. Before I got these Kupas in the mail, I loved my LeChat Master Contours. And they come in a really cute roll-off box, which I love because it's easy when I'm working with them. Once again, you really don't need to do this to these. They're all about the same. Tear your nail form apart. And everyone's going to show you how to put nail forms on properly. You need to learn how to put nail forms on properly. Mine are just on here. They're under my regular nail. Check out my nails, by the way. They were my Halloween nails for my cousin's Halloween party, and I had a really good time. So learn how to self-care too, because you take care of people all day. You listen to them. Learn how to take care of yourself too. That's something that I'm learning from this industry. So on to acrylics. So as far as nail forms go, you see the 3 different types of nail forms that I have on. These came from Sally's. They're pretty cheap. These came from a show, the LeChat booth at the show in Birmingham, the premiere. And these I just got in the mail. And I'm going to show you this really quickly before we move on. You can shorten these, and then they're just a short nail, or you can wear them extra long. I love that. It stops you because these are extra longs. And it's actually the same, pretty much the same size as their, let's see. These are extra longs, and their extra long was longer than that. So the chats are really good though if you're starting out using extra long. So you just choose. Pick something and then learn how to work with it. Because as a nail tech, honestly, there's just so many choices. You're going to have to find something that works for you and then go with what works for you. And every year it might change. Like it was these at first for me. That's why I have these 3 brands. It was these at first for me. It was these second for me. And now it's these for me. But I can use any of them. So moving on to acrylics. I have some C&D retention plus powders. Polymers and monomers here. I have a Young Nails. And once again, I'm not doing endorsement for these companies, so I'm legit just showing you their products because this is what I practiced with when I was in school and I actually use. And then this is a product that I have used, and I'm not opposed to using it if I need to use it, but I just prefer C&D. Like I said, every nail tech is going to have their preferences. I have not played with the Kupa Infinity Plus powder, but I will say I have enjoyed most of their products thus far, so I probably wouldn't have a problem getting into it. So you're going to have to figure it out. I just brought these to be able to show you a little bit of the Glam and Glitz collection because it runs a little runnier and everything looks different when you put it together with a polymer. And these are the LeChat powders. I bought these to... Why did I buy these? I think I bought these from the Birmingham show when I got the nail forms and I got the tips. And I bought them so that I could learn how to ombre. And I really don't do double... I don't do ombre. I haven't really had a lot of requests for ombre. So I played with them in school. So I know how they work, but and how they work, and that I've used these, but I only have used them with the C&D retention. I've actually never used them with anything else. So I don't know how they perform with anything else. And that's something else you learn as a nail tech. Some of your favorite people will make a powder that you love and they will not make the matching liquid, and you will be like, well, what do I use? And somebody will tell you, grab some C&D, grab some OPI, grab some Young Nails, whatever, and try it. And you literally just have to try it. So what I'm going to do before we move on is I'm going to try some of the odorless. Now, this is the thing. When you're in school, you're going to use odorless product. When you do your state board, most states, you're going to use odorless product. This came in a kit, and it's more for students. So, of course, it's using an odorless product. This is the Kupa Divinity Nail System number 8. I'm using this brush because I forgot the other ones to show you at work. So I'm going to show you this one because I've enjoyed every minute I've had with it. But I can use a 10. I can use a 14. I can use a 12. Is it a 14? Is it a 12? The next two up I can use. But as a student, I will say the 8 did really well. The 8 did really, really well. Let's see. So here we have the oldest monomer and polymer. It's monomer. And you know that when you go in, you just go into it and get you a nice size bead. Of course, we all know this is a bead. And get you a nice size bead and then drop it off. Now look at that. So I've never, by the way, I've never worked with this before. So that just goes to show you, look at this bead. This is a nice size bead. This just goes to show you that once you start playing around with your